guys, welcome to Woke and Pretty. It's your girl Meera and Min, and we are coming in hot because Min just shared a TikTok video with me with Miss Gabrielle Union and her talking about, they're right, they're wrong, as in men. They're the right ones if fill in the blanks, and they're the wrong ones if fill in the blanks. And so she filled in the blanks. And I'm confused. There's one thing on there though that I don't disagree, but I ignored it and it was fine. Like, I don't think it's gonna I married it. So whatever, it was fine. But basically this TikTok video, which Min will link in the bio so you can check it out, it's not about the video. It's about people coming at her because apparently her relationship is 50-50 when it comes to expenses. Ooh, okay. And that's what most of the people are coming at her for, right, Min?
Yes, but hold on. Let's go back though.
Okay.
I've always been surprised that Gabrielle Union married this man.
But why?
First of all, they got together. They did their little thing.
What does that mean?
Hold on.
How long were they together
they
for?
Proposed,
what's happening? Tell me their
relationship.
relationship.
I want to say 2006. I want to say 2006. When did they get engaged? Anyways, in 2000, let's say 2006. I'm positive it was 2006. They get engaged. 10 days after the engagement, he basically comes out and tells the public, I'm having a baby, and Gabrielle Union is not the mama. Which we now know is right.
As they do.
Which we now know is their.
Isn't that what Tristan Thompson did to Khloe Kardashian? I feel like that's
great.
What
I love that because that's exactly what I was thinking right away when I heard about the story again. And I was like, and I remember thinking at the time being like, fuck, you're so pretty, Gabrielle. Like, why?
It's not about the pretty. It's not about the pretty.
Okay, so anyways, they took a break during that time. He had his baby with another woman. And I don't know the kid's name. I feel really bad. I should know. And then they got back together and they got married.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, honey, do you? But I feel like, I don't know. I'm not a huge Dwayne Wade fan. Can I just say that?
Because you're so into sports and you're so into sports that you know everything that goes on the court and off the court.
No, I totally do that.
So, yeah.
Maybe it's because I expected her to be, I don't know.
Why are you not a Dwayne Wade fan? What has he done to you?
Hold on, though. He's a good ball player. I'll give him that. What
do you not like about him is what I mean.
I don't know. He just seems really shady to me.
So his look. Okay, go on.
And also, he had 10 days after he gets engaged to Gabrielle Union. You obviously had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not in that relationship, so maybe I shouldn't judge. But in my head, I was just like, girl, you can get anybody. I could line up. I could throw a stone and hit 10 men who would bow at your feet.
Don't think it's that simple though. You could be beautiful and have your career going and you're not meeting the men that you want to meet or the ones that understand you. I'm not defending Dwayne Wade. I don't know him. Mm-hmm. I don't really have any feelings left or right about him. But isn't he the one with the kid that is transgender?
Yes. And I will say, he has been a really good dad in regards to accepting
he has handled that.
He's handled that very, very well.
Mainly because of his wife and, according to this video, therapy and shared therapy. And for a Black man or any man to want to do that, that's great. But for a Black man to be as open and supportive of his daughter in that transition is amazing. So I don't know. I don't know anything about him, but based on what I see, I don't hate him. I don't think he did right by her at the beginning, but every relationship has their own issues. And I think maybe they had an open relationship. We don't know. Maybe they had broken up in between that time and then he did his ditty and then whoops, pregnancy. And then they got back together. I don't know. We don't know what happened. It happens.
No, they kept that very private. They kept that very quiet. Congratulations to them to keeping it very.
And we talk about it and they don't owe us an explanation. It would be nice. I don't think I'd buy her memoir, but I don't want to know that much. But I'm just saying, we don't know what happened in the relationship. And she obviously moved on. And you're talking about 2006, we're in 2023. Oh my God. It's almost 20 years. they've had a whole family. They've had a whole life together.
And they
My
did.
only issue with that video.
She has been very open about like the fact that she had a very difficult time getting, like they used a surrogate.
Right. They had surrogate.
Her
So
daughter.
listen, but that's a normal thing in a relationship for some people to have difficulties in that, and other people, they thrive. Look at you and your brandy. Okay.
It's not brandy.
Mm.
Just me and my brandy glass.
other with brandy colored liquid or wine colored liquid. But okay. I hope people are watching us while we talk about this so they can see that Meera.
It's not brandy. I promise you. It is like, it's the Perrier. It's like the black currant. I will, you know what? Next time on screen, I'll pour it into the glass and you will see.
Perrier. Meanwhile, my seltzer waters have all these funky flavors and it's all still white. It's not colored like a rosé or a red wine, but okay. We'll let you get away with it. No, so back to Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Everybody has their issues, but they're almost 20 years now. And if, I don't know, I feel like it's already hard for a Black woman out there. It's hard to be a successful, beautiful Black woman and find somebody as successful as you that understands you. Being a significant other to an athlete, I kind of know, not from me, but from other people that I know it's very difficult because they travel so much. And if you're an actress or you're an athlete yourself, dating an athlete, or you're someone of high level celebrity status like he is, you both have these lives that are almost parallel to each other, and you have to be intentional about your meetups. Example, Taylor Swift and her beau. He's traveling, she's traveling, and you got to make it work.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine like how hard it was. She was popular back then, but not as popular as she is now. She's really come into her own. And I feel like I don't know much about them, but I know based on the actions of what I know about him, his acceptance of his son becoming a daughter at a younger age and helping her through it, and just being an open family about it, taking her to public events and just not shying away from it, really shows what most men can't do, most women can't do, most people can't do. So that's number one. So I'll go on that fact. The other fact is with her, she was recently on a panel, and it was with her, Gina Torres. No, not Gina Torres. God, what's the girl who was in not America Ferrera?
Oh,
the one who, this is terrible. She was in
she was on the
Virgin show.
Yeah, Jane the Virgin.
It's Gina something. She was on there with her. She was on there with Emma Roberts. And there was somebody else that was there. And she basically went on and on about how she helps to fight inequality for Black women in her field, which is basically her good friend. The role was her. She was getting it. Everybody knew it. Everybody in her circle knew it. And they were playing, the studio was playing hardball with her and didn't want to give her what she was asking for when it was like not even like the sky and the moon. So she knew that they would come to her because she's next on the list. So she asked for the same sky and the moon and then some. She was like, I threw everything at it, knowing full I had nothing to lose, and it was not my role, and I was not going to accept it no matter what they did. Yeah. And of course, the studio balked at her. And then she had told the person who they were going to go to after. And then after, so it was like a circle of Black successful women who could be up for this particular role. And they all did the same exact thing to ensure that the first person that they wanted for the role, that it was this person's role to have, got the role and got what she wanted because they asked for the sky. And so that was her way of supporting.
Yes. Okay, I know exactly which one. Yes.
But and this was her way of supporting. Right. And they were happy for her because they're seeing another woman succeed, getting what they want. Exactly. Especially a Black woman, right? I judge her on that. I don't know. Relationships are freaking tough, man. It's tough. You just don't know. If anyone's been listening to us in the past couple of weeks talking about Jada and Will and their situation, relationships, even Taylor and Kelsey, or Travis, Taylor and Kelsey, Travis and Taylor, everybody has their things to get over. Travis could have the girl come out of his room and people would assume the worst. And then all of a sudden it gets back to Taylor. She's not there. It's like a whole thing. If the media doesn't know about it, that's fine. But if somebody calls her and tells her, then they get into a fight and then they move on. Why are we not moving on?
Right.
People are allowed to make mistakes.
Fair.
I don't know. He seems pretty whipped to me. She's a strong ass woman, man. I don't know.
So let's go back for a second though, because they have come out and said like their marriage is 50-50. Dwayne Wade was like, it, for the record, like it's not necessarily quote unquote 50-50. Okay. It's in the sense that if she's going out and working and building up her quote unquote empire, then she needs to contribute 50-50 in the marriage, because then we're both building something together. I don't really know how their finances work. Dwayne Wade is worth a lot more than Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, but okay, so here's why I'm a little uncomfortable with that. I make decent money. I've made more than my husband sometimes, and he pays for a lot of things and I pay for a lot of things. I've never sat down and decided what is 50-50. I actually asked him one time, and this was when I wasn't working, when I was doing my own thing. I said, do you feel like I don't contribute equally in this household financially? I've asked him that. And he was so confused by the question. He was like, what do you mean? And I said, you pay the mortgage, you pay a lot of the utilities, not all of them. And it just happens, the way it happened with us was organic. I hated his freaking internet and cable. And I was like, I need to change it. So I changed it and I paid for it. Like, it wasn't even a conversation. I was just like, we're changing this. And I just did it. Like, it's been very organic in that way. I pay for the TV subscriptions for the most part, unless he really wants something. We just have autonomy with our own money that we make. Right. And if I absolutely need help, I can ask him, but I pay for my things. He paid for his things. When it came to having a child, it was a little different. I see it as my child and I pay for my child. But then I was just like, daycare is really expensive. And I paid for a year and a half, your turn. And that was it. That was literally the conversation. So it's not like I've sat down and thought about what he pays every month and what I pay every month. I'm pretty sure he's probably paying more than me because our freaking taxes are so much. And I don't know if you know who Con Edison is, but they are the devil. They are electricity. And we have solar panels, which I insisted we get. So I paid for it. It was just like all these things. When you think about what we put into the house, people automatically think like he's a medical professional, so he's paying for everything. People probably think that. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the case. It's not. And if he was like, oh, you keep your money and let me pay for everything, I probably would be like, what? I wouldn't feel more loved. I wouldn't feel more taken care of. And I would actually feel like I owe him something. And I don't like that feeling. I would also be like, it wouldn't even matter if I saved my money and I had my money. If I want to buy something for my kid or pay for something for my kid, I'm going to do it. I don't need somebody to take care of me. Yeah. But I don't need somebody to like check and be like, you're not paying your half. You need to pay more. So there's like a different
discussion. Correction. I think if you're having a heated discussion about who's paying what, I think that's when the problem lies in.
Right, exactly.
Like you guys have just figured out a way to make it work. The other thing too is that what we need to remember here is that one, Meera, you told us before when you first got together and he was looking for a car, you basically said, that's fine, run my credit.
I put myself first. Yeah.
Right. In regards to building up you guys together. That was kind of the first step in building you guys as a couple and building your wealth together as a couple. That was one. Two, you've also mentioned the fact that like when you stepped back and became an entrepreneur, and everybody, if anybody's done this, it's one, hella hard, and two, freaking expensive.
Yes, it is.
And not that he didn't bat an eye, but more in the sense that he was like willing to pick up.
He batted an eye or two. He just kept it to himself and he was supportive. I'm not saying he didn't bat an eye.
Oh, okay. But you just said it though. He kept it to himself and was supportive. Yes. Those things matter in a relationship. It's when you're having the heated discussions about where your finances are going and you're dividing everything 50-50. I will tell you this is that like, I think yours is one of the few relationships that I've heard about in this situation where it feels like, oh my God, it's possible. Because coming from a girl who was in a marriage where everything was 50-50, and I will say this, it was not 50-50. I paid for half of the bills, but did all of the housework. He didn't know where the brew was kept. So those little things, like when you're having a discussion about where the finances are going, I think we also need to remember that household work is still work. Remember a couple of weeks ago, it's a clip now for us on our social medias, but I told you that when a woman is with a man, she gains 7 hours of domestic labor and he loses an hour.
Yeah.
When I was with my ex-husband, I gained 14 hours and he lost 6. Oh, like.
Okay, but listen. Okay, so let's get back to the point. So you are saying when it's 50-50, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be financial, because when you were 50-50 financially speaking with your ex-husband, you started to feel like there were things that you were contributing that was more, that technically was not valued monetarily, that should have been.
Yeah. And I will never be in a relationship where it's like that again.
Because the 50-50 was defined as such that you had to adhere to it no matter what. Because you even said when you weren't working, he still expected that.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a fundamental problem there. But same thing with Gabrielle and her husband, Dwayne Wade. What, I don't know why I say his full name. I was trying not to say her full name, but I'm trying. His name is Dwayne. Okay, so Dwayne and Gabrielle. It's weird because when she say 50-50, maybe they don't sit there and put it down the middle and do their finances separate and whatnot. I mean, they probably have an ironclad prenup, girl. Be like, I put in 50, you put in 50 financially. So therefore we take away the 50-50. So if we get divorced, we're good. Like, who knows what their conversation is? But I'm just saying they have kids now and he has this other kid. She's a stepmom to that child. Oh, wait, is the child the guy who transitioned? I guess maybe it is.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So they obviously have a great relationship and whatnot, because she's always part of the family photo and things like that with Gabrielle and her kids and everything. So that's great. My whole point is the effort and time that she put in other ways is also impactful.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Right. And maybe it is.
Are people taking it too literally with the 50-50 online is what I mean. Maybe we're going a little too harsh with her.
We probably, honestly, let's be real here, we probably are going a little too harsh with her.
But I'm not. I'm trying to protect my girl. Go Toros. Okay, go Toros. Good movie. Good ass movie.
I loved it.
I can literally say every cheer from that movie.
First of all, I want Gabrielle Union to win. And before we move on to another subject that like involves Gabrielle Union and what you said earlier, I do want her to win. I just hope that for Gabrielle Union's sake, that one, it's not necessarily financially 50-50.
She must have just said it at one point and everyone's like, so basically, guys, just to recap, in the video, the comments were all about her being 50-50 and they were like, nope, nope, nope. I'm going to call every single person that wrote that on that TikTok. If Dwayne Wade got divorced from Gabrielle Union and came at you, bitch, you going to go. You can't tell him no, because you're going to expect him to take care of you because he got money. Please. I see what y'all are doing. Y'all trying to bring down a Black woman that is successful and knows her shit. Move on. That's her relationship. Let's move on.
Okay, hold on though. Let's not completely move on because you said something else. And this feeds into her being successful. You reach a certain status in your career and how much money you earn. This pool of available men who are at the same caliber as you is very different and smaller.
But are you supposed to be okay with that as a woman? Because there's this whole thing about women not wanting to date men who are not their equal or better. It is okay for a woman to date up. When a man dates up, people judge her for dating down.
Oh, okay. I was listening to a podcast episode this past weekend where she literally says there are two types of women, the reacher and the sinker. And the sinkers are always the one who reach down to find a fixer-upper and make him a better man. Or the woman who reaches up outside of her status. Listen, the pool is very small the more money and the more successful you become.
I know. Hence her keeping on to her man.
Okay, let's move out of Gabrielle Union for a second.
Look, let's talk about Leo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt.
Hold on. No Leo DiCaprio. He only dates 28-year-olds.
Exactly. But my whole point is they are women who clearly do not have as much as he does. He is expected to pay for everything for them. And he probably does. And that's probably why it works. Right? The only time I've ever heard him linked to a successful woman was Rihanna, which was not proven, but yet she was on his yacht. We saw those pictures a long time ago, guys. Long time ago. Get off of it.
I'm under the impression that unless Rihanna claims you didn't really date.
They didn't date. They hooked up. They hooked up. And good for you guys. Go get it. But I'm just saying.
I think I give more of applause to Leo for getting Rihanna. But
If
yeah.
he dates someone who is high level in terms of earning and clout,
Mhm.
does he automatically have to take her seriously compared to the trinkets that he has?
Trinkets. Oh, damn.
That's the word. That's how I see it.
I don't.
A
But
trinket's
what
cute
do you
and pretty,
think?
and you put it on your jewelry, you show it off, and then you lose it. What else is the
Totally
word?
getting canceled.
Our podcast is called Woke and Pretty. People already want to cancel us.
Okay. L- uh, should he still treat her as valuable? Is this what you're asking?
I'm just saying, do you think he paid for everything for Rihanna? Probably, just like he paid for it for whoever else he dated. And then that's it. But people expected a different level of respect for her from him.
Do you think his personal assistant gets like 12 Cartier bracelets and then he just gives them out?
Do you really think he gets the Cartier bracelets or his manservant?
Oh no, his man. I
Or
think
his
that his
assistant?
assistant. Oh yeah, his assistant would go out and get 12.
He's
Cartier
definitely
bracelets, and
probably
he pulled out a drawer. And he
he's
just
definitely
hands
the
them.
type that when he breaks engagements or dates, like he has things to send to them. He's definitely that guy.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
100%.
Interesting.
100%. 100%.
All right. I love that we had that conversation. Okay, but yes, you're right. So maybe, but don't they deserve the same treatment as Rihanna would?
I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying what you put out and what you expect are two different things. My point is, if you're 50-50 in a relationship, it's not always 50-50. Relationships are never 50-50. There's always going to be somebody doing more work when it comes to the kids. There's always going to be somebody doing more work when it comes to the household, whether it's inside the house or outside the house, like lawn mowing and all the things, snow plowing, all the things. So unless you're in a functioning household where you have help and there's people to do everything for you, then it comes down to who's paying for it. So unless we are making the exact same, or I do 50% of my salary and you do 50% of your salary, we put it in one account and that's what we divvy up for the household expenses, and everything else is yours, everything else is yours. But realistically speaking, it's not always like that.
Mm.
I've never merged my account with my husband. We tried it once and the bank was closed and we laughed because we had been trying to do it for like a long time. And when we finally did it, it was done. I was like, whatever, we've been living together and doing it this way. We're good. Until we'll try another time. And we never tried. And the thing is, I like him not seeing my Amazon purchases. I like him not seeing what I'm buying and vice versa. I don't need to see the video games that he buys. I don't need to see the money he's wasting. Are our bills paid on time that he's in charge of? Great. My lights are on. Okay, cool. My kids clothed, my kids in daycare. Okay, great. I did my job.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have more money after that. Unless you're living paycheck to paycheck or it's like real tight, that's when that stuff really matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's more to things than just the financial part of it when you talk about 50-50. All I'm saying is people came hard at her. I don't know. All those people in those comments, you would go get him if he was single and he wanted you. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I don't know if I would, but I mean, I get what you're saying.
If Dwayne Wade came knocking on your door and was like, "Man, you're gorgeous. Let me take you on a date."
Not Dwayne Wade. No, not Dwayne Wade. Sorry, buddy. Not you.
What if he had flowers and a Cartier bracelet in his hand and said, like, "I just want one date"?
No.
Bitch, please. Yes, you would.
Not Dwayne
I would
Wade.
take the date right now. I'd be like, I don't even recognize you, but I will take the date once I can have the Cartier bracelet. Greg, I'll be right back. Can you watch our kid?
Just for the Cartier. First of all, the Cartier bracelet is not worth that much.
The Cartier bracelet
worth
with
a
the diamonds in
because
it?
it's Cartier.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We're thinking two
minute.
different Cartier bracelets.
You wait a minute. It matters what Cartier bracelet it is for you?
Yeah.
So if he came with the $6,000 bracelet, you're saying no. If he came with the 12 to 15,000, you're saying yes.
Potentially. I said potential.
Oh, how far you've fallen. I got your number.
Girl, I don't think the Cartier bracelet is that pretty. I wouldn't want one, is what I'm saying.
It's not about the Cartier bracelet. It's about the point of it.
What's the point of it?
Okay, what do you think is pretty? A Chanel bracelet?
No.
Okay, so like?
You're also asking about possessional things. I don't need the material stuff. If he showed up with a Lambo and
I understand. I'm
marching
not saying
band,
you're
I still would
falling
be
for
like,
it. I'm not saying
I'm
you're
not
falling
interested.
for it and you're going to drop your panties and go have babies with him. I'm just saying if somebody came to your door and you're single.
Oh, we're talking
and-
about somebody. You said Dwayne Wade.
Well, I
Hold
use him as
on.
fine. Okay, Dwayne Wade. Let's say Dwayne Wade's divorced. You met him at something and then he shows
would
up
be
at your
Dwayne
door.
Wade. No. Wouldn't be Dwayne Wade.
I will say I don't believe you.
However, Chris Evans, I would like.
First of all,
run
he
out
wouldn't
the
even have to
door.
come to your door. You would have already been like, I'm waiting in the bathroom. Ew, the Chris's.
Also, first of all, the bathroom, don't you think a little classier? Meera?
His car. I don't know. Okay. Guys, we apologize that this episode took a turn. I don't even know what else we can talk about after this because this was crazy.
No, but this was a great episode. So let's wrap it up, Meera.
Yeah. Because then you got people like Priscilla Presley, who unfortunately obviously outlived her husband, her daughter, her grandson, her daughter. Like I feel bad for her. But she finally confessed why she never got remarried. Do you know why Priscilla Presley never got remarried?
No, why?
No one can ever match her husband.
Oh.
I mean, he was
sad.
Elvis. He was Elvis.
And there are women who just never got remarried.
I
After their
know.
husbands.
I don't want to see how The Bachelor ended.
The Women Tell All is tomorrow night. Or is it the night? Hold on.
But do we know? I don't want to know.
Well, who cares? I just want to see The Women Tell All.
You just want to tell all? What did they even tell? They were so cute. There was like one lady who was having a little bit of a fight and trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh my God, it's already been on. It was last night. Perfect. So it'll be on tonight.
Okay,
So
well,
it'll be on. So I can stream it tonight.
Okay.
I want to see who wins.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for listening to us on Woken Pretty. We apologize in advance for this taking a crazy turn. I apologize to Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. But if you're listening, hey, hit us up. We're on social, Woke Pretty Podcast. Please follow us and everybody else follow suit. And we are happy to hear your comments. And if you are listening on Apple or Spotify, make sure you give us a rating. 5 stars would be lovely. And we will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Remember, you're the heartbeat of our podcast. Your support, your comments, and your enthusiasm keeps us fired up and ready to bring you more pop culture goodness each week. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of action. We'd love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and even your own pop culture discoveries.
Connect with us on social media at Woken Pretty Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.